Mzafo da mase mwakwaba eba jumedie so bra society na se twin komo nene na Supreme Court na se Ghana Court batan na se bedwa ensema na edi ahimedi ade ncheche se hwan ene wotumi so yedom kese sansa mamra no ba bi kire se du ba bi a uyi a we na wo se eba na eni ba bi speaker kire se kwan kro fa so eden samankrata bre no kra na nyene kwan so the Supreme Court nko emra biem ene Supreme Court atenase akasa se enhye eni kwan mo fa so no boni bia enim ena na hye bedwafo nan no so emo mu koyo madwuma esanse ekoba ne saa na nipa ye to abama omo no ya mom kwan ema wanya anamsini ewo mrahye bedwam we eni nsema enwumre ye ba behwe na ya hwese de ekoi entwa so ne ento aso esanse asem no kra de we bedidi afa ho kakra esanse ebre kra ebede nimu a eba behwe article 97 clause 1G ni H ni ye na fe omode eho omasibre atumi aba mfenefo mi no ni mire omo kame ho ne atwe nkomo ye Ora Solomon Asante National Communication Team Member MPP na fe Haruna Amaliba Kingsley ono so National Communication Team Member and this was a form benefo na menomba betwe nkomo mmadum makwaba
yeah the team bureau National Communication Bureau yeah team
yeah sa naja producer atwa next time na me bureau
my quality
me das nti yeah betwetwe enkomo sede nsem no akono zamaleba mmisha semfiri ho speaker kasa court adane no ebi nso se e kan se Mrashibidwafo nan no e ka se mo konwa no nkoda mpan dia na amanfo nso e wosal no oman ne omani ni bacho bitio ye time no akoy bibia o kakranti when it to na yemfa first and second runner into me empon
me da see my chief for adwena mentia so
I
think the Supreme Court lost the opportunity today to purge itself from the public perception regarding the biased nature of the court.
Oh,
that's my view. That's my view. And yet that's my view. That's my view. Let me show you something. There is I agree with you, but I am not going to the merit of the issue pending.
So
please don't, if Jemano Sibone, make trust and mean see full stop. Jemano Sibone. Obi na train adie or say ohene abo man no. Na che no kwa himfie dedua. No say say man train wie. No say they can ho ban papa. Nti ho ban papa na be ka ho no na stand asem no. Enti me pacho let me proceed so that you wouldn't end up putting words in my mouth for or impugning meaning that is not what I am intending. What I'm saying is that there is a public perception about the judiciary which has constantly declining. For example, by 2016, no, that was 2012, the public confidence in the judiciary was around 56%. By 2020, now as we speak, it's hovering around 35%, which is very worrying and troubling. So Timamufon any GDA ewa tomu juma kunimu say, minya sanam de court, benya tenchia, they resort to what we call mob justice. And anybody can fall a victim to mob justice. Civilized societies are not built on the basis of mob justice, but by the foundation and fairness of the law. That is why I think that the Supreme Court lost the opportunity or missed the opportunity to have purged itself. Looking at Article 125 Clause 1 provides that justice emanates from the people and it shall be dispensed by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to the Constitution. And Article 1 Clause 1 states that sovereignty resides in the people. So if you rule in the Supreme Court at the buyer granting a Afenyo Markins application or the coin follow the public discussions, there were absolute public disagreement and uproar about the approach of the Supreme Court towards the matter by granting Afenyomarkin's application of the court, which was grounded on flawed approach because parliamentary Hansard na Afenyomarkin the court no, that parliamentary Hansard no Krampuno was procured fraudulently. And until an officer of parliament or release that document in the Edema for your markings no. Parliament Speaker Office very well. Speaker like Speaker Office or so. In fact, there's a disciplinary action from the parliamentary board also against the guy who released that document for your marking. Parliament transfer we don't take records. It's like a minute. That records have to come back to Parliament again and be read to the whole members to ascertain the accuracy of the records that was taken during the period proceedings. For the whole House to adopt it, that Speaker no rule over it before it becomes part of the record. That procedure was not exhausted. And the officer release that Hansard, that drafted copy at the mark for your markings. Money to me the common Supreme Court under what capacity and authority or the SRD. But these are the nuances of it. But see, what you someone caught in the canon now, I cringed. I was very worried. We have three co-equal arms of government. Now, what you the tone and the language of the court this afternoon now, it does appear that the court is becoming a headmaster, trying to discipline and school the remaining two arms of government. In fact, in this case, the legislature in particular.
But say interpretation
for the court, for the court. No, we are not talking about interpretation. See, I beg you. We are not talking about interpretation. I am dealing with the issue about court nakawasam. That's what I'm dealing with. For the court to describe the speaker's knowledge of the law and his approach as misinformation, misapprehension of the law, and all of that, I think the tone of the court was very harsh. However, this is a speaker who has been a senior member of the bar and have been in parliament since 1992. At the same time, recently, I think the Africans, there's the contender speakers, maybe Shia, Ghana, and Bagwen was once again elected as the president of the speakers of Africa's parliament. This man lacked capacity to understand the law. But see, what is more worrying in this matter? And it's a court say you must speak a rule in Ejina. It will deny the MPs now are affected, the affected MPs. So maybe now more constituent representation in parliament.
Yeah.
Even before that, this Justice Jehu, Nasem Ebai. Justice Jehu is a known MPP party member who contested as a member of parliament in whole Central. When he was nominated to the bench, there was an issue, and I blame the NDC MPs here for sitting in to vet and approve him. If I were to be a member of parliament, the day of his approval, I wouldn't go to parliament. I would let the records reflect that I was absent that day. But they sat in and approved him. And then and the speaker, judges, how do you call it, lawyers were arguing, saying, this man is sitting here to participate in a matter that will have political interest to the party. He was a non-member, and therefore court needs to be, because if you read the law, it doesn't say anywhere, that the constitution doesn't say anywhere that if you had been or if you were a member of a particular party, you can't sit in to determine the matter affected that party. But the worrying thing here is that almost so the constituent will be denied representation. Very interesting. You know, when Amaru was elected, a whole community of over 40,000 citizens were denied a right to vote to elect their rep in parliament for Amaru to win. Eventually, when the petition was filed at Whole High Court, that petition was upheld. Attorney General quickly went to the same Supreme Court, invoked the supervisory jurisdiction of the court, and filed a statutory motion or application asking the court to quash the ruling of the whole High Court. Because of that, Sal for any rep in Parliament till today for the last 4 years. The court needs there's nothing wrong with that. But NIPA 4 or so, one more across the carpet, which Article 1 now got 97 clause 1G and H. The court will interpret for us to see the variant interpretation. But the court said there's nothing wrong with it. I still stand as a Ghanaian at this moment.
Bram.
Anyway,
yeah.
Me that was evidence as because my ahwefo enyumre. Which ya amaliba so. Asembe ne da pono so ayeka. Ni nyina efa ne Supreme Court anu di nsem odi abetudwa efa nsem a yera Bagbenda Speaker of Parliament Edikodan wo mo. Yedi kan de ma asem we nyina ba ne se na yera afenyo marken edi nsem akokodan Supreme Court say nsem bi ekoso wo Parliament no. Akoye say two sides of the house no. Wo mo NTS interpretation 2 Article 97 1G no different. When TS different no. Omo di accord ono yera afenyo market the accord in Supreme Court say Supreme Court emma nchirichiri interpretation on that issue. That provision no. Eninti no on state proceedings na ekoso pronounced declaration na Parliament eba be speaker eba be no. Se na ebe on betimi accord term akoye interpretation no. Ko interpret wi then they come back. Eho na che say ade ne be kan omunsa Parliament nkrata no eba speaker to so de obeye ema sebio asem na ekoba ne say I was say court ebe kasa court bound the 18th ebe kire say sa womo you know tabo atozuma they can't do entisa ade no no speaker no it cannot take effect until NIPA 4 no womo nkoso enye and representing woman crop for various constituencies. Speaker Bagben later it came out say we reject the tabona Supreme Court edia to omunjuma de ne so e ho na sem ni nyina agina enne Supreme Court akwa ase e no mo kire say sabi e kamia koyeze Speaker Bagben womo side no womo nti asem na ekoso na asem. This is a matter of interpretation. The interpretations so no many other NDC colleagues ekotena set so need especially this case na omo adwini nyina ne say 97 your friends 97 1G that ehon yes ehon kire say MP ni vacate na yina na kire say e wo say ye no efi ho because
emra ehon dey sa na kire
because I know say almost say even the court me kire dey omo come say yes and almost say be court crap na e was say High Court until a wrong forum. Yes, because until almost a wrong forum na afenyo marking honorable ediako instead of High Court or they call Supreme Court in the wrong forum
to me see court
and I may ba say they are getting it wrong.
I didn't
They make us say they are getting it wrong and they say embrano and they speak your friend is saying Chief Justice na ekayo won say embrano and they say wo enim wo na wanya asem na asem no trample on as violating human rights wo na we beneficiary of that thing and they affect you wo court you have to go to a High Court. What am I saying? Name a third person adene cause one report to here but a third person say me meet say no ade we cause for public interest in no meko makwa seek for interpretations that NTS say na be said as president amaya me kwa I go under article 130 no because a public interest I go on the article 2 and then article 130 because the public interest na meko but say wona wo kwakọ for we na wo kwakọ seek for you go under article
33 where you near there
just say be violating human rights is about fundamental human rights 33(1) any 142
me can
what me say
election no 99 no say we seat no the force say enye papa na say wo file Nyan Tuma.
High court. But in this case, or party as a one said you will sit now, you catch I was saying, I hope you understand me. One I was so called high court, but me see when a third person, and yet MPs 4 no almost almost court 2. A third person, a year rough, and your marking, near court. This is no any the primary beneficiary, and as a no no said you, the fundamental human rights have been violated, so violated in Tino. Or quite on one court, a year your friend is high court, and was so called Supreme Court. So what is saying? Sana identity. We asima yeke. Who call your friend is expert akosa. Expert akosa ni chere say afanunu emienu parties ni mienu dispute over the interpretation of a constitutional provision. Then the Supreme Court must be called to bring a finality to the matter. I hope you understand me. It is how coin and say be here after your marking fast so at the coin and then the court necessary I say if the court is a court because even the president crapo and now is what is it woman or
court being president or vice president.
Yes.
Only coin say
na president or vice president omoni speaker one and to me say be me you say you can say or your president or your say was as president of speakers what argument is this? Well, and as a Supreme Court judge, you know, I can say, she said, then name you know, court na dismiss no. One, sir, aspect na you say no. Mama for no court was no more no more represent your microphone. And no, say you say speaker can so reject ya bogu. Yes, it's therefore, I was parliament started you mana 4 MPs ne court represent your microphone. And no, you want 2. Almost as you raise it, say, Supreme Court judge guy we no so or no so MPP eni enti no yenyin fio e na say bi Supreme Court no a dismiss e no so if e hosa. These are the two things and Supreme Court are dismissing. But say your kind no say no work court affair no because of substantive issues. Substantive issue no that's the interpretation and they say I see we no stay on proceedings send earlier October 18th communicated by so mun stay on proceedings and na court na say abegina na nemu bi say monko mun stay on proceedings na mun twema yenye de ye be interpretation you interpretation and then we come to this. I hope you understand. It is on
it is very interesting listening to the MPP.
I don't think
you are now alleging a violation of fundamental human rights because the MPs who have been elected by our constituent. Speaker, I invoke Article 97 G and H. Yeah, a cow muntino. Those MPs no, our constituents ain't near representation in Parliament, and therefore their rights have been violated. And you are stating here, say, and your MPs nankasa and a court, but I find your marking and a court.
And that's the truth.
And that raises the issue of that raised the issue of capacity and lucus. He's going there as who? Beba, please, as who?
Oh, say me, bro. I'm yeah, didn't come on. But where's happened? I say,
but me can't also I don't know what exactly because I am addressing the issue. Okay, well. If you want to talk to yourself, you can yes, we are the but no, but you didn't come on. Also, be men Kabi dia. Why are we Kabi? But I'm addressing the issue. Me can't also. And two Kasama in Kabi. O kasa me kema miso ase o kasa o ya ne apon. Ask your question.
Me o kasa me
ask your question.
Okay, money kasa sa na tie. Sebi untimi wa de so de she o keshiri. Asem da hon so clear. As simple as ABCD. Me say wo ukura asem na human rights. Somebody is violating, and a system be violating human rights. I was so called court. Court I also call forum near High Court.
But and then it's why say MPP so acquire or hinted because at the what Parliament made the BI the same rule. What track committee BI.
Thank you. Thank you. When we say 97 Gene can say nipa no political party obi can say vehicle or team di ba parliament no onya bedu parliament me see vehicle ni mo just me feel start political come baby fufra na was over vacate they said now who tells one and be can in the okano in the back na we dey
can no speaker
unim se ojitum so also kan say a second John Bodu den or trod ba
na memra no so nkyere so obi ntro nkwansa
na o say memra nkyere but the party did the needful to the party did the needful to inform parliament say nkrofo we onka ye ho piem. I hope you understand me. And that gives you enough grounds to say, okay.
But Asante, Parliament, Mrano, 971 June. Senka Kasoki, a bassa, who know the bar and may who say na Kodia. Kabakasoki, fine, Sarati. But yes, Anna Denaka, until Dena, Obakase, John Bodu Atrakunti, in this case, no, or Senka in this side, no. I'm
not saying issue. Nobody should. I mean, can't say being true, being co. If you're Hong Kong, but I mean, that instance now, can I mean, they see here, which you are aware because you know about. You have said it, you've heard it. So you see a secretary for the equality parliament leadership. So saying this, you have way neobium. Yeah, let you as me see neobium.
But what I'm explaining to us, you know, because Emran say speaker of parliament, who the ekoso, and
our parliament, but service any party
the electoral commission here, or no so Emran the way state here and uncle state say Nipane Koya, obi may inform me answer. Also says we see we never was here. I didn't know about what the equity untino. This will be may inform answer.
Sesa a hono, Sesabi. Party in Abia were born a mania, they wouldn't even know say be a simesi with Fiemo. I hope you understand me. So there's the need. Min can say a year idea shemu say it was all year. But the party we did it, didn't we do? We did it. And Krapoma didn't see so party in Kraput million so party in Krapot on come who be.
This is to raise issues witness in speaker act and
Mamika Zemicho. Tama Yura do Ejahoye a friend say speaker. When you say you have a similar problem or you have a similar problem. Is it BB say news that they have forgotten say do have forgotten the name NDC MPB also sir across sir Emma Sadi any ABC Emma do Yera do Ejaho one take steps away take ye what me say
okay
Yera do Ejaho one take steps where your friend is saying the Yera speaker bagbin e take ye no I think it's so simple. Nipa na court no interpretation no koseke wangaze adentina usi omusi o si adena 1971 je no senior no tia se nyesa na wo interpreting to okwa koseke and adena so there say two sides a dispute over interpretation of a constitutional provision a supreme court and the supreme court no in fact to kind article 131 A na a chira was a nima we nyina it has to go to the Supreme Court especially as any nipa na you violated the right na what me say this is so simple was here tiase nya de bia but won say omuntu bia mo ka shirenti no studio crap we na fi ase ko
se we for ha na e besi ba me gidi se ye ba ha na e bedi dwuma e ye nkomo ne nyina ya twetwe
afuno
enti se me bisa asem a me nyini se e bone program e hwe esi da wo kan asem na se me bema eno nche se e bone enu amareba sorry eko mo amotwe
afuno no
enye se obi na
unye ne bone
ye nkomo ne ya twetwe
unye ne bone
na me bi so asem so a
unye ne bone
ye obone nti ebi obeka se
asem crop da ho a
na mpacho mba ye se bi obi beka se UTV fo apam ne da bi ampam ne nkomo ne ya twetwe ana oso nkase bi no wa sorry kwenti ye hu ne sa
asem crop audi tribia
ha so a ye nyina ye hu se eye oman kekere nkomo ne ye nyina ye di nti ye mfa ne sa na yankuanim timeda o mase
asem na o de tudwa o sha se nam sa eni me hu hia no kokai
ba na etwe nkom
kasa na kasa no afono
nkom menua Isaac Aduemi so be kan ye ho na ye de nko twetwe ba nyame yadoma ye no da chena da kru nyina ase yakram